Edisto Island. Let's see what we can find.
Well, we were walking down the Spanish Mount Trail in the state park in this beautiful maritime forest, and my cameraman discovered this hole in this tree, and inside of it
I heard something.
there is a bird. Is it nesting? Or is it stuck?
Is this a nest?
I believe it is nesting. I'm not sure what species this bird is, but check this out. What an interesting place to nest.
That's unusual.
You'd think if it rained, it would wash this poor little creature out of here. It pays to look in hollow trees. And
we were just saying.
we were just saying I brought my light so I could look down inside of hollow trees. Very interesting behavior. This little bird has, it flipped debris over its body
To hide itself.
to hide itself. Yeah. Look at that. It flipped part of its nest over its body because it knows it can't escape.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible adaptation for survival. All right, we're going to leave it alone so we don't stress it out too much. And let's check that hole out over on that big oak over there. Who knows what's in there? Check out this little millipede. Very cool little creature. Millipedes have 4 legs per body segment. Centipedes have 2. The centipedes have the ability to give you a pretty nasty sting, and they have a venom, whereas millipedes don't. They're primarily detritivores. They eat rotting vegetation, anything that they can find on the forest floor, and of course they will climb trees. When we first saw this guy, he was climbing down this big live oak right here. Very cool. Now they get larger than this up in the Smokies where I'm from, and this one's probably a fourth the size of the ones I'm used to seeing in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Now, and when they're threatened, they roll up into a spiral shape and sometimes will basically poop on you. And it's a pretty nasty substance, of course, poop, but it's not just poop. It's a substance that tastes really bad and has a foul smell and would repel most creatures that want to eat this little guy. So I'm going to let him go right here in this hole. Seems like a safer place than crossing the trail, don't you think? Now look right here above our little millipede. This is called resurrection fern. It's called that because when it dries out in the forest, the resurrection fern will turn all brown and look very dead like this. Which that happens to be a dead resurrection fern. It wasn't connected to anything. But when it rains, the resurrection fern will turn green again. And what it's doing is when it's dried out, it's estivating. And that's basically a type of, well, hibernation for plants. And then of course when the rains come back, it can come back to life. And the reason it does this is because look where it's growing. There's not that much soil here. Not much at all. Just what has collected in this little pocket from all of these dead live oak leaves and dead fern fronds. As they rot, they pile up and create a spot for the fern to grow. And on all the live oaks around here, especially on the big sweeping limbs like on that live oak back there, and here's a really good one right here, on this sweeping limb, you can see the resurrection fern growing on top of the flatter part of the limb. And that's, of course, the flatter part being the area that collects more debris. Very cool. Let's go on down the trail and see what else we can find. This really neat looking shrub is Yaupon holly. And Yaupon holly, scientific name, Ilex vomitoria. Doesn't sound like something you'd want to eat, does it? But you can. Actually, you can drink it. The Native Americans from this area would take the leaves from Ilex vomitoria and bake them, until they turn light brown. And then if you take the leaves and soak them in water, just like making tea, you can make black tea. Tastes pretty much like any old black tea you'll buy at the market. But if you take the berries from this plant, I don't see any berries, wrong time of year apparently. If you take the berries and make the drink out of the berries, you get something called the black drink. If you drink the black drink, boy, you'll know it, because it has about 10 times the amount of caffeine as coffee. So it will make you vomit and other things that I'm not going to mention. It's a purgative, and the Native Americans would use it during rituals as a stimulant and as a
Cleanser.
As a cleanser. My mind went, they would use it as a cleanser, and there you have it. Ilex vomitoria. Make some tea out of it today, but don't make it out of the berries unless you're ready for what may happen. Okay, on the other side of this little tree, you should be able to see there's a little anole. There he is.
Where?
Just keep walking, he'll come around to me. Or run up the tree. He's right there. Okay, there he is. It's a little Carolina anole. Some people say anole. Some people call them chameleons, but they're not chameleons.
No.
The chameleon is an animal that lives in Madagascar and central, I guess, Yemen, North Africa.
Oh, he jumped.
But that is an anole. Ooh. Males have a dewlap.
Cool.
Similar to iguanas. I'm not going to catch him because he's so small and fragile it could hurt him. Great little lizard, and now I seem to have lost him. One of their defenses is to run up the tree. I don't know where he went. There he is. Beautiful little lizard.